It's gardening season all year round in Southern California. Welcome to yet another episode of sunshine, gardening tips, and a whole lot more. So let's begin with all the harvests we made this month. Starting with ash gourd. We had ash gourds growing in our raised beds, and you can see that even in the winter season, they are growing pretty well. They are still producing ash gourds. And here is one more. We are harvesting 2 ash gourds which were growing on this trellis between our raised beds. And here you can look at the harvest of our ash gourd or winter melon. They look amazing. Bananas. We had our Rajapuri banana growing in our side yard. And you can see that the bananas have started ripening on the tree. And it takes about 6 months to a year even here in Southern California for the bananas to ripen on the tree. But you can see here beautiful looking bananas. You can look at our first harvest here. And there are also more bananas growing on the tree. So this is the last harvest for the season. And we even use the banana stems. They taste amazing and have great health benefits. Now once a banana plant produces, you can cut down the tree and the babies or the pups around the plant will continue to grow into bigger trees. Now we composted the entire banana tree after we chopped it down, and this makes great compost. The worms love it. Cauliflower. We were growing this cheddar cauliflower in a 5-gallon container, and this shows that a 5-gallon container is enough to grow a very healthy cauliflower, as you see here. The cheddar cauliflower has a lot of anthocyanins, a lot of health benefits for you. And you can look at our harvest here. Beautiful looking cheddar cauliflower. And one of the best things you can grow in your home garden during winters. Chili. We had several varieties of chilies growing in our garden. And you can see that in December when the weather is cooling down, the chilies have started slowing down as well. We can still harvest a few chili peppers. This is the bird's eye chili pepper. Still producing a few chilies, but towards the end of the season. And if they survive the winters, I will trim them and make sure that they grow again next year. But here you can see these are our Thai chilies. They don't look that healthy because it's getting really cold here. And these are some cayenne peppers that are growing in the raised bed. So all in all, it was a decent harvest of chili peppers for the month of December. Cilantro. We were growing cilantro on our raised beds. You can see here the cilantro plants have started bolting a little bit now. Although it is the winter season, the cilantro plants will eventually bolt. So make sure that you're harvesting your leaves every now and then. And if your plant gets to this stage where it starts bolting, you can just uproot the whole plant. And you can look at our harvest here. This is fresh cilantro right from our garden. And there were a few more plants that we harvested after a few days. You can see that this is a regular cilantro variety. The slow bolting cilantro is slightly better because it bolts slowly, but this is still very good quality cilantro, and fresh cilantro from your garden is just amazing. Eggplants. These are the Thai green eggplants that were growing in the raised bed. And once again, it's the end of the season, so you can see that the plant is slowing down. But we had a few days of warm weather that resulted in these beautiful looking eggplants as you see here. These Thai green eggplants look amazing, especially for the month of December. They are quite good. And we also had our dwarf patio baby eggplant that was growing in a container. And we harvested a few eggplants from there. This plant is also slowing down as the winter is approaching. And you can look at our final eggplant harvest for the season here. Beautiful looking eggplants, and it'll be time for a new season very soon. Mangoes. Who would have expected mangoes during this time of the year, right? Well, we let our mangoes grow quite big, and it was now time to harvest the mangoes. They had grown big enough, and instead of ripening it on the tree, we thought that it may be a good idea to just harvest it and then ripen them indoors. So you can look at our plant here. It's a dwarf plant, ultra dwarf. probably just a few feet in height. And just look at these amazing mangoes. They are really big mangoes. So I'm super impressed with what this plant can produce for its size. So we wash these mangoes before we ripen them indoors. And in just a few days, you can see that the mangoes have ripened. You can see that they are ready for eating. And we'll cut open this one mango and show you how they look like. The Little Gem mango is one of the most amazing varieties of mango that you can grow. It has no fiber, it is sweet, it is delicious, it doesn't have a lot of aftertaste. It reminds me of the Kesar mango, which is another beautiful and amazing tasting mango. But this Little Gem mango is so easy to grow in your home garden. It's a small plant and it produces a lot of mangoes. You can see how juicy and nice these mango pieces are. So all in all, we just loved eating this mango variety. Fenugreek. We were growing fenugreek greens in a container, and as you can see, the greens have grown quite well. And fenugreek is another cool season crop that you can easily grow in containers. It has a lot of health benefits as well. So you can easily grow fenugreek either as microgreens or as full plants like you see here. And there are a lot of dishes you can make with fenugreek greens. It has a very unique taste. And if you haven't eaten fenugreek before, you might be in for a surprise. But look at our harvest here. Beautiful looking fenugreek greens. Very fresh, very delicious. Sweet potatoes. Our sweet potato patch had grown quite large. You can see it's taken up the entire raised bed. We are taking off these two cucumber trellises from here. And you can see how much the sweet potato plants have grown. Now most of the sweet potatoes are formed right at the base of the plant. So we will go ahead and harvest these sweet potatoes. You can see they're quite big in size. And here you can see one more sweet potato. Beautiful looking sweet potato. And there are several more right around the plant that you can harvest. And it was getting increasingly difficult for me to dig in and start removing these sweet potatoes. So I started cutting off the vines so that I could harvest them in an easier way. But still I was digging in with my hand and it was getting really difficult to harvest these sweet potatoes. Now luckily I found that these sweet potatoes had grown in clumps all around the raised bed. But I'm pretty sure that the plant has sent out roots deeper and there's only so much you can dig. Now this is the other variety of sweet potato, a different color. You can see it still looks pretty good. The different colors on the sweet potatoes are different vitamins and minerals, anthocyanins in the fruit or vegetable. And you can look at our harvest here, beautiful looking sweet potatoes. And that too of different colors. Taro root. Our taro patch, as you've already seen in the previous videos, has matured completely. And now is the time to start harvesting all our taro plants. The taro plants produce these taro roots. They're extremely starchy, extremely delicious to eat as well. And they produce a lot. You can see here, this is a big bunch of taro that we're harvesting here. At maturity, the taro root stops growing, the plant stops growing, and you can harvest all the tubers. And we've already started plants for the next season. But you can see how many tubers these plants produce. And here is a close-up of how the tubers look like. You can separate these tubers and then wash them. This is how they look like. This is an amazing harvest of taro root. Tomatoes. Yes, it's December and we are still getting tomatoes. So the tomatoes that we have growing on our raised beds mostly, you can see that most of these are single stem tomatoes. And even beyond December, we still have tomatoes on the plant. And you can see that some of these tomatoes are not completely red or not completely ripe. And that's okay because they will ripen indoors. So when your tomatoes get to this stage, you can start harvesting them. Of course, some tomatoes will turn red on the vine itself. But even if you have tomatoes that are not completely red, you can definitely harvest them and ripen them indoors. And there are multiple varieties of tomatoes here. If you've been following my videos, you already know what tomato varieties these are. But they are slowing down now. You can see that the leaves are drying up. So I will be removing these plants soon. And this is the other plant. This is in a container. And this is the bush steak tomato plant. Produces big tomatoes. And you can look at one harvest here. Beautiful looking tomatoes. And we were back in just a few days to harvest more. On several days, we harvested tomatoes from our garden because they kept producing. You can see these are beautiful looking tomatoes. A lot of tomatoes still on the plant, which is very interesting to see. But all in all, this tomato patch has served us pretty well, giving us a lot of tomatoes. And although the plants are now turning yellow and drying up, it's still producing tomatoes, which is good to see. And here is one more harvest, beautiful looking tomatoes. And now let's look at the Mars Hydro FCE-1500 grow tent setup. This product was sent to me by Mars Hydro for review, but as always, this is an honest review of what I think about the product. Inside the box, we have the setup guide. We have the T connectors that go on the corners. We have the vertical and horizontal connectors that give the tent its shape. And this is the grow tent. The grow tent is of amazing quality and the connectors and supports look quite solid too. Now the instruction manual is one for all sizes of grow tents. So we find our model here, which is the 32 by 32 by 63. The instructions are slightly different, so make sure you find the right size before assembling. Here is the area where the grow tent will be set up, and we have placed the 4 corners here. And these are the 4 side supports that we are placing around the base. These connect to the corner posts easily. It's a good design where you depress the latching connector and then fit it into place. Do this on all 4 sides, and now the base is set up. The base looks sturdy, and make sure you align the corner joints in such a way that you can add vertical supports next. We will do the same thing on all 4 corners. And this is how the grow tent looks like after the first tier is installed and ready for our next step. We then install vertical supports for the upper tier, and this is how it looks like. And finally, we attach the top 4 corners and attach the vertical and horizontal connectors, and this forms the structure of the grow tent. And the parts are clearly labeled, so assembly up to this point is super easy. And after adding the cover, this is how the grow tent looks like. And you can compare the size of the FCE-1500 grow tent to the larger 4 foot by 4 foot grow tent that we assembled last year, also from Mars Hydro. The next step is to place the floor mat for the grow tent, which collects leaves and debris from your plants. It fits in quite snug, and you can see these railings here which snap right onto the top of the grow tent, and this will become your holder for the grow lights. And now the grow tent is fully assembled. Now there are some accessories which come in the kit. This is the exhaust fan. It looks quite solidly built. It connects to the duct that also comes in the kit, and it has a temperature sensor that automatically starts the fan as needed. And it comes with this on and off switch, which conveniently lets you control power and speed for your fan. It also comes with a carbon filter that removes odors and traps dust when the fan is running. This is overkill for what you get in the package, but some users will have a good use case for using this accessory. And the best accessory, the kit comes with an oscillating fan. The clamp will allow you to mount the fan on the grow tent side structure, which is a great design in my opinion. And this is the fan itself, a little larger than I expected, but the build quality was solid. And it comes with a timer too, a manual timer, although I will be using a digital timer that can be controlled with a smartphone. They are quite cheap these days. There are some other accessories like clamps if you want to clamp the fan to the ducts, and some other fan accessories which I haven't explored yet. And now the grow light, which is the second most important component in the kit after the grow tent itself. It comes with accessories to hang the grow light, And let's look at the grow light itself. It looks amazing. This is an LED grow light and is sufficient to cover this grow tent area. It comes with all the cables you need to get this up and running. This is the power connector, which we are connecting right away here. And here are all the LEDs in the grow light. And as you can see, they are of quite good quality. This is the duct, which lets you attach the fan and other accessories. I won't be setting these up just yet. And if these were not enough, the FCE-1500 grow tent kit also comes with these fabric grow bags. These are quite good, 5 gallons in size. These grow bags will help you grow tomatoes and peppers or whatever else you want to grow. So we will be setting these up soon. And they also include a pair of pruners. Can you believe that? So handy to prune all the plants that you grow in your grow tent. So now let's go ahead and attach the hanging strings to the grow light. You just need to attach it on one end, and as you see, the other end goes onto the other side, but not now. And similarly, attach the hanging hook on the other side. And both of these wires will go over the hanging rail and attach back to the grow lights, as you'll shortly see. So here is the grow light turned on, and as you can see, the wires go over the hanging rails. I have used just one rail to hang these grow lights. And the grow light illuminates the entire grow tent very well, as you can see here. Now let's attach the fan. All you need to do is attach the clip and then a screw to hold the clip in place like we're doing here. And the fans are turned on now. You can see the fan is already running and oscillating. There are buttons on the back of the fan, one for speed and one for oscillation. And you can also adjust the clip so your fan is oscillating on your plants when it runs. And the fan is extremely important for a grow tent for air circulation. It strengthens your plant shoots and also keeps mold and mildew in check when your plants are growing. In the upcoming videos, I will show you how you can start tomatoes and pepper seedlings in this grow tent. So make sure you subscribe to get all future updates. And now let's look at some things for you to do in your garden this month. Composting. This is one thing that I have been speaking about in almost every episode of mine. And it's really important. And it's important because you're going to see the results right here. This is our tumbling composter, and one chamber of this composter is now ready with finished compost. So we will lay out a tarp at the bottom of this composter and just roll it so that we can collect all the finished compost, as you see here. And this compost can be used in containers. We are preparing this container here. This is an empty container that needed a little bit of soil. And we are adding this compost on top, removing any microplastic pieces that we see, which is very important. And this compost will settle down into the soil. Now on our raised bed, before we add the compost, we added our alfalfa fertilizer, alfalfa pellets that we reviewed in our previous video as well. And we first spread it out on the raised bed, make sure that it's evenly spread out. And then we take our compost, the compost that we just collected, the finished compost, and then we start spreading it on the raised bed. Now, this is a great amendment for your raised bed. The alfalfa pellets will add a lot of nitrogen, a lot of nutrients to your soil, and the compost will add a lot of micronutrients that your plants need. So overall, you will be growing very healthy plants in this raised bed. So this is one activity that you can do at the end of every season. Just add in some compost, some organic fertilizer, and then make sure that you water well. Make sure that you water it down. Water is one single thing that you need for increased microbial activity. Microbes do need moisture. So water it down and let it settle down for a few days, and you'll be ready for the next gardening season. And there we have it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments box below. We'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.